that's the first one by far. Like that's the first one because you're at 4 top 7 teams probably.
Yeah,
literally. You're definitely at 4 top 10 teams. Like that's just stupid.
College football season is going to be here before you know it. And you guys know, regardless of whether you call it the offseason, even though there really is no offseason, shout out to our buddy Josh Pate, we love talking about it. And we love bringing on guests that are experts, that are connoisseurs of the sport, and guys that have lived it. And our next guest, you've seen him on here before, incredible family man, absolute stud football player. You saw him in college, saw him in the league. Now with the Family Goals Pod, the Pollack Family Foundation, everything that he's doing, giving back, and still taking time to hang out with us. Our buddy David Pollack. DP, what's up, buddy?
What's up, my dudes? How we doing?
Man, we're ready to go, ripping and roaring, enjoying this college baseball. You watch college baseball, DP?
Absolutely not.
No.
I'm not enjoying baseball. The worst season of my life was travel baseball with my son. Like having to be a part of that was insufferable. No, I'm not watching it, but I do see that the Murray State's in it, right? Like the Racers are in it. So like I have the team I'm pulling for by far, especially in this NIL world and the world we live in. Like having a underdog, that will give me a reason to watch. But I'm not a baseball guy that I can sit there and watch 9 innings unless I really want to take a nap, or 7 or whatever.
Yeah, respect. That's like me in golf tournaments that aren't majors. David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback to my left. Blaine Crain, former Western State Colorado wide receiver to my right. DP, the way that we want to do this is we're going to unveil, we've each picked 2 of the toughest schedules we think there are in college football. So we're going to read one of the schedules, and when we're taking the stance of, obviously we don't know which teams are going to work out and end up being as good as what we think, but just with what we have in the information, I've got 2, Cohn's got 2, Blaine's got 2. So I'm going to read my 2. I'm going to tell you the teams, and then you are going to tell me which schedule you think is more difficult as we sit here right now today. So if you're ready to rock and roll.
Let's go.
All right, the first one I got, and I will say, all right, on this one, in the beginning, the first couple, you're going to be like, how is this the toughest schedule? But I'm going to get to it. The first one, this team, Team A for me, versus Miami, Ohio at home, versus Middle Tennessee State at home, at Bama, versus Maryland, at Michigan, versus Iowa, versus Ohio State, at Oregon, versus Washington, at Indiana, versus Illinois, and at Minnesota. And that is Wisconsin. Now, we talk Big Ten college football here. I did not realize the gauntlet these cats are about to go through from really week 3 on when they go to Bama. I mean, that's about as brutal as it gets.
That's miserable. That is not one that I've studied that much. Because here's the thing: when you're doing this, when you're doing this, the biggest deal is like what team, who you are as a team, and where you stack up players-wise. But more importantly, when you go and y'all know this because y'all played football, and this is a big deal, is the hardest thing to do in college football. So if there's a lot of and then those are teams that are as talented as you and more talented, those are a lot of losses. Yeah. And when you're playing at Oregon and at Michigan and at Bama, and you play Ohio State, like, ooh, good Lord have mercy. In Wisconsin, that's not fun. That's not enjoyable.
Dude, this 5-game stretch at Bama versus Maryland, at Michigan versus Iowa versus Ohio State, then really 6-game stretch at Oregon. You play Michigan, Ohio State, and Oregon. 2 of them on the road, 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah, and I think that, like, those are the obvious ones, but when you start talking about, like, the Illinois...
At Indiana, that game's a whole hell of a lot harder.
I mean, David, that's what I wanted to ask you about. First off, just Wisconsin and the direction that Luke Fickell is headed in general, I'd like your thoughts on where the program is. But then also, like, Indiana and Illinois, I mean, are these programs that are going to be able to replicate some of the success that they had a season ago?
Well, Indiana's not going anywhere. I think listen, I think you can talk about their schedule if you want to, but they also thumped everybody they played. Cignetti's got swag. Cignetti's got he's got some blank you to him. Like, he is not a guy that's going to mince words. He's got a lot of confidence. You listen to him talk. The schedule's good. They went and got Mendoza at quarterback. Let me tell you something. I watched him before they got him in the portal, and I'm like, this dude's a stud. Yeah. Like, their offense was really good with Rourke last year. I will argue their offense will be better this year because their quarterback's going to be able to run the football. Not only run the football more effectively, like you can run design runs, but scramble. But big arm, big tall stature, they're not going anywhere.
And I watched him walk into Jordan Hare last year and put on a clinic, especially in the first. This dude was making throws. I mean, he can run.
Baller.
He's young.
He's an absolute baller. He's big. He's strong. He's athletic. Like, he can extend plays. Like, he'll be somebody that everybody's talking about. Illinois, David, like, Bielema's not going anywhere either. This dude's been around the block. He builds teams his way. It's going to be physical. Altmaier at quarterback. Look at all the games last year and the big moments. That dude came through. Yeah. Like, when you need it, and listen, I know it was Purdue, and you shouldn't have been close to Purdue, but he comes through in late in the game in OT. You look at Nebraska. He comes through when it matters. Like, he's a guy with a lot of experience. Does he have the big, huge arm? No, but does he have the experience and the it factor? Mm-hmm. He does. So those teams absolutely aren't going anywhere. Listen, Wisconsin, we can talk about Fickell. We could bring Saban back. We can bring whoever we want back with that schedule. It ain't going to be pretty.
No.
Like, it ain't going to end well. Like,
I mean, you make a bowl game. Like, it's like, can we make a bowl? I got 7 losses on here. Like, looking at it just right now. I mean, that's going to be tough, but we'll see with Luke Fickell. I know they believe in him. You know, they extended his contract. This is going to be a fight here. But all right, my second schedule, and you're probably going to know who this team is before I tell you at the end, but just to build up the drama. First game versus Illinois State. Then versus
already.
Yeah, the Redbirds are ready to fly, son. Versus Michigan at home, obviously. At Temple. Weird.
Good for Temple.
Yeah. Auburn at home. Kent State at home. Neutral site game against Texas. I think that probably gives it away.
That one should give it away at the end.
Yeah. Listen to this stretch here. At South Carolina, Ole Miss at home, at Tennessee, at Bama, versus Mizzou, and then LSU at home. I mean, dog, take Michigan out of the mix. Sorry, David, but like these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, at Tennessee, at Bama, versus Missouri, LSU at home, and that's obviously Oklahoma. I mean, in a year where Brent Venables, and we've got a great Oklahoma preview coming out here in the near future. I mean, I love Mateer. I love Ott. I know Venables can get that defense right. They can't possibly be as porous as they were on the offensive line last year. But, I mean, with this team, 8-4 would be immaculate with this schedule.
8-4, 9-3, and you could argue this team should be in the playoffs.
That was what I was going to ask you next.
Schedule.
That's what I was going to ask you next.
Well, it's crazy. Now, listen, I think when you bring in OC quarterback combination, because you just mentioned, when you mentioned Mateer, like, this dude has experience and he's a baller. Yeah, like, he's going to Oklahoma, and he reminds me of Baker Mayfield. Yeah. Like, he's got that ability to scramble. He's not the number 1 pick like Mayfield, but he's got the ability to scramble, extend plays. He throws on the run at an elite level, like really, really, really good. Big-time playmaker, coming in with his offensive coordinator, coming in with more talent now and health at receiver. Oklahoma, if you doubt Venables and their defense, you're just not very bright. Yeah. Like, you're not. Like, I think their defensive line, if you're ranking Oklahoma's defensive line, it's the best in the country. It's one of the best in the country. It's definitely the best in the league. And that's something to be said. Like, it's depth at defensive tackle. You have pass rush ability, and the scheme allows this group. If you're telling me I have to pick a scheme to go play in as a defensive lineman, which I was, give me Oklahoma. Yeah. I get to penetrate. I get to stunt. I get to move. I'm not two-gapping. Bump that bull crap. Like, so it's a tough schedule. Venables is in a tough season of his career, obviously, trying to prove himself. If you win 9 games, if you win 8 games, Oklahoma, you should be ecstatic. You should be happy, because that schedule is not fun when you add at Tennessee, at Bama, tough atmospheres, at South Carolina. Those are 3 of the tougher atmospheres in college football to play in. You throw in Michigan just for fun. I'm not sure that was the best idea in the world coming to the SEC and the schedule they got handed. Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, and this is, and I hate to use the term must win, especially with the way we have the playoff now and the automatic qualifiers if you win your conference championship. But with that schedule, Michigan week 2 is about as damn close as you can get to a must win early in the season, to maybe make up for one of these losses in the back end to get to that 9 number that I'll continue to say it. I've said it all off season. I think there's a very high possibility that a 9-3 SEC or 9-3 Big Ten team makes the college football playoff this year. I think last year was a little bit of an anomaly in a circumstance. I think there's a decent shot.
And I agree with everything you said, David, on one of your social media posts when you were previewing the Oklahoma and Michigan game. I mean, I think the Wolverines are going to get all they can handle in Norman in week 2. I really do. And with Sharon Moore, with his alma mater being Oklahoma, it makes it that much more interesting and possibly starting a true freshman quarterback. I hope you'll come back in August just so we can preview that matchup because it's going to be a great litmus test.
Possibly starting a freshman quarterback.
Sure.
Get out of here, David. You know better than that.
Well, we did have Coach Moore on our program, and I asked him to break down what his criteria was going to be for deciding a starting quarterback with Mikey Keene coming in from Fresno State. And
he said, which one did we pay $12 million?
Fall camp will wait. Yeah, exactly. He didn't say. I wish he had said that so we could have gotten a viral moment. Either way, my A team here, okay?
Oh, wait, one second, Tony. DP, which one between my two, Oklahoma and Wisconsin, do you think is the more difficult schedule?
Oh, I wouldn't want to be Wisconsin. I wouldn't have said that coming on the program, but you nailed that. You absolutely nailed that. I don't want that smoke, especially as I
don't think that's crazy.
That's the worst sponsor I've heard.
All right.
Wow.
All right. Wisconsin moves on.
All right. A team here at Clemson. Okay. So maybe you already know where this is going. Louisiana Tech, Florida at home, Southeastern Louisiana at Ole Miss, a bye week before you host South Carolina, at Vanderbilt, Texas A&M at home, bye week at Alabama, Arkansas at home, Western Kentucky at Oklahoma to end the year. This is LSU here. So,
golly.
What do you think about LSU this year in a year where Brian Kelly really hit the transfer portal harder than he had in previous years?
Yeah, and he had to. And it's interesting to watch LSU last year, man. There was times when I thought Garrett Nussmeier was the best quarterback in the country. I mean, just spinning bean and making plays that you go, holy cow. Like, I wouldn't even have thrown that ball. And not only did he throw it, he got it in. And then he also had some moments that made you scratch your head and go, what the crap are we doing? And I think the weapons will be good. The offensive line will be interesting to watch because they had, obviously, you got a guy drafted in the top 5. The defense, you're rebuilding a defensive line. You're trying to rush the passer. I haven't seen a lot of good from LSU's defense in a while. It's been frustrating to watch LSU's defense, actually. Like, you've seen spurts and you see Weeks run around and make tackles, but the back end and coverage and then the pass rush. 2 years ago, I saw Harold Perkins Jr. and I'm like, that is him. That is Von Miller reincarnated. And then he disappeared, and you don't see from him for a while. So I don't know. I want to see consistency from LSU. LSU hasn't won an opener since Joe Burrow was at the helm.
Yeah. And that at
they
Clemson.
haven't won an opening game. Yeah, and Clemson, to me, I'm not getting outside of 2. I'll argue with you. I'm not getting outside of 2. This is a Clemson. Yeah. This is a Dabo vintage team. This is the exact recipe he had when he won national titles. Elite quarterback, elite receivers, elite defensive line, 2 guys that are going to go in the first round, a corner that's going to go in the first round. Like, we're going to find out really, really quick with Clemson. And I think Clemson's a top 2 team. I could put them at 1 and feel happy, like really, really good about what I'm getting. So that's a brutal schedule having to go at Clemson. Are we going to debate whether that's the real Death Valley? Like, are they going to be pissed about which one's the real Death Valley?
That'll be a whole segment. Yeah, that'll be a whole build-up. But when you were highlighting the at games, those away games earlier in the segment, when you look at Ole Miss and at Alabama, at Oklahoma, and even Vanderbilt this year, I mean, you can throw that in with a straight face, and that's all just within the conference after you have to open up at Clemson. I think that, we're going to find out a lot about LSU this year.
Well, sure. I want to... DP, I want to ask you this because I find little intricacies like this fascinating. Thank you. I promised I was going to use
tough word.
Third time I've used it this year. What's fascinating to me about this, because I think sometimes, like, college football fans, they just look at the teams and sometimes they forget you're dealing with, like, people that learn on different levels, that react in different levels. I could sit here and say on one hand that I think last year, to your point, Garrett Nussmeier overthought some things, over-anticipated some things, tried to get to some things early. Sometimes, because he's one of the best anticipatory throwers, I think, that we have in the country. But sometimes he would try and do too much. He's a coach's son. You could just see it, right? Then on the other side of the ball, Harold Perkins was overthinking things with where they've moved him around and doing all this. Yep. It's just funny to me that one guy can overthink things and it speeds him up. Talking about Garrett Nussmeier. And on defense, a guy overthinks things and it slows him down, as opposed to just, hey, go get it. Here's where we're going to put you. These are the 4 things that we're going to do. I just find that kind of fascinating how the same problem can lead to one guy being sped up and another guy being slowed down. So I'm interested to see both those guys this year and how they adjust. Summer's almost here, and that means Dad's firing up the grill for those backyard barbecues. Mm-hmm. Yes! But did you know that over 85% of grass-fed beef in U.S. stores is actually imported? That's why I trust Good Ranchers. And at GoodRanchers.com, they source 100% of their meat from American farms. Every cut of their beef, chicken, and pork is born, raised, and harvested right here in the USA. Ooh. Plus, there's no antibiotics, no added hormones, no seed oils, just real quality meat delivered straight to your door. Perfect for when Dad wants to show off his elite grilling skills without the grocery store hassle. I mean, look, we get the butcher's box. That's how we do it around my house.
Yes, sir,
they got a ton of them. They're all great. That's my personal favorite. So give the father in your life what they really want this summer. Premium American meat they can be proud to serve. Good Ranchers connects your family to American farms with convenient delivery that makes every backyard barbecue better. That's meat you can trust. So visit GoodRanchers.com and get $40 off plus free meat for life. Yeah, wow. You're not mishearing that. Free meat for life, but you have to use code BOOSTER. BOOSTER. Again, that's GoodRanchers.com. Get that $40 off plus free meat for life with our code BOOSTER. Good Ranchers, American meat delivered.
All right, here's schedule number 2, David. At Southern Miss, Arizona State, Alcorn State, Northern Illinois, Tennessee at home, at Texas A&M, at Florida, Texas, at Arkansas, Georgia, at Missouri, and Ole Miss at home. And this is the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Damn, Jeff.
I mean, again, this is great, but this is a recipe for you're not winning more than 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what this is. This is brutal. I mean, with Wisconsin, you're fighting for a bowl game. Mississippi State, listen, it's a young program with Levy, and he's building, and he's going to figure it out. But I don't know how they're competitive, more or less, winning a lot of games with this schedule. I don't see it. It's hard, man. Like, it's hard enough to build a team and start to build a program and change things and get it turned around. And when you play that, it's like, okay, I mean, what the freak do you want me to do? Like, it's going to be a rough year for the Bulldogs.
So that's the schedule you're picking right there as the toughest?
Out of those 2?
Yeah.
I get those 2, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say Mississippi State.
And don't you think Mississippi State, when they scheduled Arizona State, whenever that was, did not think it was going to be like this? Because they probably scheduled them when they were making fun of Jaden Daniels for leaving, like that long ago. Now it's like, bro, I got to deal with Sam Leavitt. Thank God Scadabo's gone to the league, but still, Arizona State's a problem.
Yeah, they're a problem.
Big problem.
Dillingham knows how to get those guys. I think Sam Leavitt might be one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
He is.
At the end of the day, I think he really put him up there.
It's not Fink. It's 100%. He goes no lower than 2 or 3 for me in the country.
Like,
who are you putting above him? Like, if you didn't watch Sam Leavitt at a high level, and some people don't, but if you watch him with his scrambling ability, with his toughness, and I tell you what, just the way he answered the question with Quinn Ewers, I love that, man. I just love that he was like, I'm better than Quinn Ewers. And he didn't say it to get clicks. He was like, what are you talking about? And the way he runs hard scrambles, gets rid of the football, like that dude is special. And you're going to see it without Cam, one of the guys that was up for the Heisman Trophy. They're going to be like, how is Arizona State still winning this and going to a playoff game? It's because that's a dude. That's why.
Yeah, Sam's a dog. If I put anybody over him, I'll probably put Cade over. I'll put Klubnik.
I think that's what you can make an argument for that. They're similar players.
For sure. Yeah, Cade just sold her. All right, DP, Team A. All right, you're going to know this pretty quick. I'm going to hit you with some facts afterwards. All right, week 1, you got Long Island. All right, they make great iced teas. You got South Florida at home, at LSU, at Miami, Texas at home, at Texas A&M. Get a little breather of the Mississippi State. It's a crazy thing to say. Then you got Georgia.
Neutral game with Georgia.
Then you got Georgia. All right, neutral site in Jacksonville, which still sucks. At Kentucky, at Ole Miss, Tennessee at home, and you end the year versus Florida State. And I'm pretty sure Florida State's not going to be a 2-win team this year, or at least I hope so for Florida State and Mike Norvell.
And Danny Cannell.
So, I mean, you play 10 Power 5 opponents. The only easy games really you have is Long Island. You have 5 road games at LSU, at Miami, at Texas A&M, at Kentucky, and at Ole Miss. Kill me.
Damn.
Your home slate includes Texas, Tennessee, and your in-rival state, rival Florida State. Your neutral site games, of course, Georgia and Jacksonville. Then you have the stretch of at LSU, at Miami, Texas at home, and at A&M from mid-September to mid-October. And despite Florida having a really good roster this year, one of the best rosters Billy Napier has, I mean, you look at this schedule, you win 8 games. I mean, that's a win for everybody.
I would argue this is the same conversation with Oklahoma. You win 9, you should be in the playoff consideration. You're going to be talked about in that realm. So, I mean, I think Florida, like, I was on it all last year after the Miami game because nobody was on Florida after that because that was embarrassing. But I love the way they fought, man. I mean, they fought every game. They competed every game. They had so many injuries and so many things go wrong. And most coaches don't have the ability to keep a team together. Florida did. And now you look at them, they've got a ton of depth on the offensive defensive lines, the best defensive lineman probably in the SEC, a quarterback that talent-wise takes a back seat to no one in college football. Yeah. And now staying healthy, learning to take the layups, learning to take some pace off of the football and not throw it through people on a check down, taking the check down, those things obviously will come along with it. But the schedule's absolutely brutal. I think they're going to be a really good team, just like I think Oklahoma is, but the schedule is just not fun.
God, it doesn't even feel like a schedule. It feels like a public execution every Saturday.
Well, what'd you say? Yeah, what'd you say? It's like Florida's schedule is like you're just running and hiding, waiting for somebody to come get you.
Yeah, ready to Gestapo to come pick you up. I mean, you're just waiting.
Not fun.
All right, Team B, DP. You start off with Alabama A&M at home, Arkansas State at home. Kind of your easy ones there. Then you're at Ole Miss.
Okay.
At Memphis, which sucks.
Yeah.
All right. And then, hey, let's play a little out of conference. Who do we have? Let's play Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
All right. Then you're at Tennessee, A&M at home, Auburn at home, Mississippi State at home, at LSU, at Texas, and then Missouri.
Arkansas.
And this is Arkansas.
Sammy
Notre Dame in week 5. Your SEC road games are at Ole Miss, at Tennessee, at LSU, at Texas. Kill me. And don't worry, your home stretch just has A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, and Missouri. We'll see what type of team Missouri is this year. And you think you have a pretty good roster, and you're projected to win 5 games this year with that schedule. And you hit it early. It's Arkansas with Sam Pittman.
Yeah. And they listen, Taylor Green is one of the most intriguing things I'm going to watch this year in college football because I'm kind of surprised he's there. I thought that because I watched him last year and I was like, there's a couple times where I went, dude, that's a dude. That's a grown man too, by the way. 6'5", 240, 235, whatever he is, can absolutely run away from people, can spin it. Bobby P had just came in. You saw Oklahoma State where it'd be like, oh, they're up 21-0 just like that. The dude's looking great. And then you see the pick sixes and you're like, all right, dude, stop. Don't do that. And then he got banged up throughout the season. But tell you what, man, I love that kid. I think he's got some special to him. When you start talking about next level traits, like he's a guy that could be drafted, pretty high in the NFL because of all of those things. And I look forward to seeing Arkansas, but that schedule, nobody looks forward to that. And again, they don't have as fair of a fight they're like Wisconsin to me. They're like, Florida has more of a fair fight. Oklahoma has more of a fair fight. They have some pieces that could play at the other schools across the board. Arkansas doesn't have that. And so you couple that with that schedule. And again, what do you want Sam Pittman to do? Like there's nothing he can do. I mean, that's just, you're going to be fighting like crazy, stay in games, be competitive, try to get to a bowl game. And that's a pretty good year.
Yeah. Well, it's like being an average-looking dude and walking up to a supermodel at the bar. Like, you better be unbelievably funny or something. You better know magic and it's not lame or something.
A lot of money helps too, I guess.
Yeah, well, you better have a lot of money. Now, Arkansas does have a lot of money.
Yeah, you ever had them Tyson Nuggets?
Yeah, you ever had them Razorback Nuggets?
Hey,
that
David.
Walmart money, baby. Come on.
That's right. Some chicken money, too.
I want to ask a question just to kind of put a bow on the schedules here. 5 of the 6 teams we've highlighted today are from the Southeastern Conference. We know how challenging it is week in and week out to run through that conference in football. But a year ago, the conference was trying to use that as the only metric, really, for postseason play and discount win-loss record. How do you think the College Football Playoff Committee can better balance the difficulty of a schedule with wins and losses?
Man, it's impossible because y'all are going to sit here and tell me that, and everybody's going to sit here and tell me that across the country. Okay, but what do you value? What do you value? Like, where do you put the emphasis? Is it on playing great teams? Is it not play? Is a soft non-conference? Like, because there's going to be teams like Indiana last year who they just had a really good schedule, right? Like they had a great schedule, but they also deserved to be in the playoff, and they also took care of business. So you have to levy the fact that the schedule was terrible, but they literally took a frying pan and went wah to everybody they played. So I've got to give you credit for that. So it's not an exact science. Here's the thing, David. Here's how we fix this crap. And I've been talking about this for years, and I'm going to keep banging it until it happens. Everyone needs to play the other power conferences out of conference. Everybody needs a game versus the Big 12, versus the SEC, versus the ACC, versus the Big 10. Whatever conference you're in, now we have 3 automatic crossovers from every single team in college football. Every single one. Now we can determine more the strength of schedule and what that looks like on a better, higher level. Because really, strength of schedule, what do you value? Do you value going on the road? Do you value out of conference? Like, look at some of these teams, like Texas playing Ohio State week 1. Like, if they lose to Ohio State or Ohio State lose to Texas, does that loss deserve to keep them out of a playoff because they have one more loss than somebody else? No, because that other team would have lost to them too.
LSU, Clemson, same thing.
Yes, 100%. So that's where it's so difficult to measure. We need to put more things in place that we have that we can cross-reference and measure those things better. More conference games can help, obviously, but those are things that are extremely difficult to measure, and nobody wants to talk. Everybody wants to say, fix it. Well, it's not easy to fix because we had a computer system that did it. I hate it. We have people that do it. I hate it because there's no 2 things we're going to agree on. Like, some people like the bass with women, some people like the treble. That's your decision. That's who you are. That's what you are, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, we've been asking for an SEC Big 10 challenge or ACC Big 12, like we have in college basketball, which is great. There's those crossovers, they play each other. I'm with you 100%. Which one of the schedules between Arkansas and Florida, DP, do you think's the toughest? Who are you going with?
I'll go Florida.
Go Florida.
I think Florida, because the neutral game isn't a home game either. That's not a home game by any stretch. At LSU, at A&M, at Ole Miss, and then you still got to add in the others too with Tennessee and with Texas. Like that's not fun.
Okay, so the 3 finalists we have. I have Wisconsin.
He picked Mississippi State.
You got Mississippi State, and you've got
the Fighting Billy Napiers.
Florida. All right, so we're going to rank these in order. I'm going to read mine again to you. Let's just each read the schedule one more time to them. And then, DP, you tell us starting at 1, hardest, 2, second hardest, 3, the third hardest, which in this one, I mean, they're all extremely hard. So Wisconsin's versus Miami, Ohio, versus Middle Tennessee State, at Bama, versus Maryland, at Michigan, versus Iowa, versus Ohio State, at Oregon, versus Washington, at Indiana, versus Illinois, and at Minnesota. Bro, it gets worse every time I read it. It gets worse every time I read it.
Mississippi State is. Go ahead.
You don't have to read another one. That's the first one by far. Like that's the first one because you're at 4 top 7 teams probably.
Yeah,
literally you're definitely at 4 top 10 teams. Wherever you want to put Indiana and wherever they fall in the top 10 polls. Like that's just stupid. You win. You win in Wisconsin.
Right. If you had to rank 2 and 3, Dave, what would you rank it?
I would go. God, I hate to be Mississippi State. I'll go Mississippi State 2 and Florida 3.
Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. Well, DP, as usual, brother, thank you so much for taking some time. I know you're super busy. Tell everybody where they can find your podcast. It's so fantastic. All you guys are doing through the foundation, and I know you're geeked up for college football. Well, college football's here, and we started a pod last year, See Ball, Get Ball, which
there's no better name than that for me because I'm a defensive guy. I'm not very bright. You just go get the ball. Like it's just a beautiful name. So if you do the podcast and the YouTube and all that stuff, it'll be on there. And then Family Goals is the podcast I do with my pastor. And we just talk about ways to organize your family and help them get structured and to put God at the center and how to do that. And so definitely those two things will be grinding away, man. Football's around the corner, so I know you guys are happy.
Definitely. Well, thanks, brother. Going to keep praying for you guys. And again, man, thanks for taking the time to come on, and hope to talk to you again before the season and maybe come play a little golf next year.
And God bless your family right now, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. See you, dudes. Appreciate y'all.
See you, buddy.
Man.
Once again, thanks to David Pollack for joining us, one of the best in the business, really good friend of the show. Know that you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments as well. What did you think about our toughest schedules? Is there a team we left out that you think has a tougher schedule than what we talked about? Rutgers isn't easy. Vanderbilt isn't easy. There's a couple others. We want to know from you, and where would you rank them? Thanks again for joining us. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Keep sharing the show, and like the chances of me wanting to be Jeff Levy in Mississippi State this season. We're going. Gone.